All right, so I am starting in Canvas, and the first thing I'm going to point out is the announcements. So at the beginning of every week, I will be posting an announcement with a portion of those overviews that I talked about in the syllabus video, and that will be kind of the rundown of your week in this class. So for week one, we have all the syllabus videos, all the introductions, and then also the Excel installation and the data camp. So this is going to be your first way to know what you are tasked with doing this week. The second way is going to be within whatever module we are in. So at the very beginning, we are in module 0 and module 1 as well. So I can look at the module 1 overview and find week 1. And this has the videos, the pages that I need to look at, along with the deadlines of any assignments that are included in this week. So for example, in week 2, I will be posting just this lighter green on Monday, and this will tell you which video you need to watch, which assignments you have due and when, and that will be your schedule for the week. So those are the 2 ways that you know what to be doing in this online asynchronous course. Additionally, when assignments are coming up, I will be posting an announcement reminding you, usually the day before. So for example, for module 0, excuse me, this announcement will go out Wednesday before they are due on Thursday. So the discussion post and the course overview quiz, these will include a link, so you can just click right to the link and this will take you to that respective assignment. So on this note, the introduce yourself discussion post, this is just a quick way for me to learn a little bit more about you and also for your classmates to know about you as well. So I'm a really big believer, as I mentioned in the Meet Your Instructor video in community. So I would like to learn more about you guys and what is your experience with software and programming. So my personal experience is I started programming when is in my first year of undergrad. I took a Python and a Java class. Didn't really like both of those. It wasn't my thing. But then I eventually found a research project where I started working with R. So kind of involving that statistics aspect into programming. And that's what I love the most. And so that is where the bulk of my programming experience is from. And then I would also like to know, why are you excited to take this course? Why are you in Dana 320? What are you most looking forward to about data visualization or just the data science program in general? And then I would like you to respond to at least one, more if you're feeling good about it, of your classmates and kind of interact with them as well. So that is the introduce yourself discussion post. The other assignment that you have that was in that announcement is going to be the course overview quiz. This is just a kind of quick syllabus quiz about things that I went over in that video, making sure you understand where things can be found, what the deadlines are typically, policy for late work, stuff like that. So I'm not looking for anything elaborate here, just a few bullet points for each question, and that will be sufficient. All right, next up is the readings. So I want to explain a little bit more about the readings. So if we click on the readings overview, which will be available to you shortly, the readings are going to start in week 2. So we won't have anything due until the end of week 2, but the readings are where we are going to learn about the principles of data visualization. So in class, in quotes here, all of our content videos are mainly going to be about how we use the software to design, to manipulate data, and design effective visuals. So we're going to be focusing on the actual carrying out of the data visualization process. And in the readings, that's going to give us the other side. So that's going to give us the principles, right? How we think about our visuals, what we want them to look like, and why. that is what the purpose of the readings are. So we also have, just like with the overview, we have a reading schedule. So this will be updated as we move throughout the semester. Pretty much starting after week 1, there will be weekly reading assignments between 10 to 20 pages of the textbook. So SWD stands for Storytelling with Data. It's also available as an audiobook as well through Audible if you prefer to listen. And how to read this. So starting in week 2, you'll be assigned pages 1 to 13 and a little bit down onto that page. And it has a little brief overview of which sections this is covering, and then a kind of endpoint for your reference. And then the corresponding quiz that goes with this first reading. So reading check quiz 1 corresponds to these pages 1 to 13.5. So one thing I want to point out is those page numbers. If you notice here on my PDF, the page numbers do not correspond to those numbers that are showing up there. The page numbers are, keep going, these guys. So you'll be reading the introduction, page 1, all the way down, right? There's a lot of pictures, so it might sound like a lot of pages, but there's a lot of visuals all the way down to page 13 and then up to this section. So that is going to be your first reading assignment. Once you get done reading that, you will then come over to Canvas again, and you will look for the reading check quizzes module. And quiz 1, this is the quiz that goes with those pages. So this will be some multiple choice, select all that apply type of questions dealing with that reading. So I'll note here that you only get 1 attempt. So there's no time limit, but you do only get 1 attempt. So those questions are fairly straightforward. If you did the reading, then they should be fairly easy. I'm not trying to trick you here, just to make sure that you did indeed do the reading. Okay, last up is the actual content. So in week 2, I will be releasing the section 1.2 when we start the first content that I'll be introducing after the data camp. So the page here, 1.2, this has a video embedded in it, along with a kind of brief overview and the files that you need. So one thing that's going to be included in the top of all of these pages is kind of my recommendation for how to complete the videos. So just like with the data camp, you're going to get the most benefit from these videos if you are following along with the instructions. So some of the videos will be from me. Some of them, like in 1.3, will be YouTube videos that I have selected, but it's going to be the same process. So you're going to be following along with the video lecture with the provided files. So let's take a look at the files for 1.2 to get you an idea of what those look like. So 1.2 is going to be about making basic charts in Excel. The file that is provided here is called starter, and what that looks like is on here on the left. So with all the videos, I have provided you the data set that we'll be using, and there will be some prompts embedded in the Excel sheets. So these are kind of clues that I'll be using in the video, just so you know where to put what, and so it's easier to reference when you look back at them, you know exactly what you did in the Excel sheet. So as you're watching the video, follow along, make sure you can do everything that I or whoever is presenting the video can do. And then within all of these Excel sheets, I've also added sample exercises. So these ones are kind of my additional problems that I've added, even to the videos that I didn't make, to further practice the content that the video covers. So this will be kind of your first experience with the content that hasn't been shown to you. So kind of follow these instructions and do your best with those. I definitely recommend doing all of these exercises. Kind of the flow is going to be you watch the video, practice it there, follow along, do the exercise that corresponds to the content. Then you do the lab that kind of builds on it, bigger problems, and then you do the homework that kind of extends it. So that's kind of the general flow. So at the end of this lecture video, you'll end up with something that looks like this, and then also a solution to the exercise. So these would be great things to work on and ask me questions about if you get stuck. That will definitely prepare you for the labs and the homeworks. And on that note of questions, one thing that I want to do that I mentioned in the instructor video is create a sense of community. And so whenever you have content questions, I ask that you post them in the appropriate discussion board on Canvas. So if I click this link here, section 1.2, this is where I would like you to post any questions you have about the content. So this is where I want to see the questions. This is for you and all of your other classmates as well. So hopefully this will be a nice built up question bank that you can use and maybe answer all of your questions before you even ask them. So before you reach out to me, check the discussion board for the specific section. If you still don't see your question there or it doesn't help yet, then instead of emailing it to me, post it on here. I'll see it there and reply. If you email it to me, I will respond for you to post it in the chat or in the discussion, and then that is where I want to respond to it. So that way we only have to respond to the question one time, and that everyone can benefit from the good questions that you're asking. So that is going to be available for every single section. So they will eventually start piling up here, starting with the introduction, and then the installation, and then 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, all the way up. All right, I think that is it for this video. I will see you next time.